What's up everybody, welcome back to a brand new video on Lexalexus. Today it is the Premier League score predictions for round 2 of the Championship. So I have not done well in my prediction league whatsoever. If you're wondering, this is what the prediction league is looking like. And yes, this is no clickbait, I am last place in my own league. So I really need to step it up after this game week. And I will be going for it. You guys have really spurred me on now. Thank you to everyone who has taken part. If you've not taken part yet, you can always take part this week. All you've got to do to take part is enter your score predictions in the comments down below, completely free of charge. If you guys like what you see, please give the video a like. It just reminds you up the channel. Please do hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content delving into the Premier League as well as the Championship. And please also share this channel too. That really helps as well. But without any further ado, let's start predicting week 2 of the Premier League. So the first game to predict is Aston Villa versus Everton. Two teams who started off their season with a defeat. And both were very poor, I've got to say. Especially Aston Villa against Bournemouth. They were second best for a lot of that game. Bournemouth did really well actually and outran them, which was very disappointing. And Steven Gerrard's really got a quack a whip with this Aston Villa team. I think it's only 2 wins in 12 as manager now, which is not a great record for Steven Gerrard at all. And Everton could be in a better situation for what they were. They have made the recent signing of Onana, which I think will be decent. Don't think he's going to start in this game, but given time, he could be a decent signing for Everton. They've also made a signing of Conor Cody. Looking like they're going to go to a back 3. He might start in that game if he's got enough sharpness about him there. As a prediction with this game, I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. I don't think any team is going to win this one. I think they'll cancel each other out and it'll be honours even. Let me know what you think in the comments. Next up is Arsenal versus Leicester City. Both teams going into this game with some interesting scenarios. Arsenal managed to win their opening game against Crystal Palace. They didn't manage to get the first game nerves that they had last year when they lost out to Brentford. And to be fair, in that opening period of the game, they were really good, Arsenal. And I've got to say, I think this is one of the very few times where I think their transfers have been fantastic. A lot of the time, their transfers would take some time to integrate. But these signings, you know, the likes of Jesus have already hit the ground running and looking like that they're really great options. So Arsenal could be a force. I just fear for their depth, to be honest there. And with Leicester, similar problem. I fear for their depth as well, which I think will hold them back, potentially finishing in a position they want to be. They have got more players linked. Maddison to Newcastle was a heavy rumour this week, but he has stayed at Leicester for now. But we could potentially start seeing a small exodus of Leicester players leave the club, and what effect that is going to have is really going to have a negative one so far, especially with the very little investment that they made. They threw away a 2-goal lead against Brentford as well. They really got to work on something there. And against this Arsenal team that seemed right on it, I don't really see anything else but an Arsenal win. I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Arsenal. Let me know what you think in the comments. Next game to predict is Brighton versus Newcastle. Now this is very close. Both teams managed to win an opening day game. So Brighton managed to get an away win against rejuvenated Manchester United in a way that they're now playing under a new manager. But it does seem a little bit same on Man United, and they did capitalise Pascal Gross again, which I think it's 6 goals and 6 appearances against Man United as well. He's got a great record against them. Newcastle managed to comfortably beat newly promoted Nottingham Forest by 2-0. They had to be very patient as well, so the fact that Newcastle are being patient at low blocks is really giving me all the confidence that they can have the qualities to potentially sneak in the top 6. My problem, a bit similar with Arsenal, is whether they're going to be consistent enough. But if they can get those consistent performances, I think Newcastle will be a force. As a game, for some reason, I don't really see this being the highest scoring game. I'm going to also go for a 1-1 draw. I do think it'll be a little bit quiet with terms of the goal scoring. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Man City versus Bournemouth. Both teams started their day of the season, you know, with an opening day win. Man City beating West Ham by 2-0, and Bournemouth managing to beat Aston Villa as well, pretty comfortably as well. Both have worked really hard off the ball. I think Manchester City, with Erling Haaland's first home game, in the Premier League at least. They definitely would want to give him a good amount of opportunities for him to get the ground running. And I've got to say, whilst that Bournemouth backline did a stellar job against Aston Villa, I think with the way that they're playing with Haaland right now is dangerously scary. And Bournemouth could potentially limit, Manchester City at full strength if they do press them as hard as they did against Aston Villa. But having said that, I think Man City will break away one too many times. As a prediction, I'm going to go for 3-0 win to Manchester City. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Southampton versus Leeds. This for me is a bit of a duff game, to be honest. I do think both teams will be in around a mid-table position come the end of the season. Southampton started the season losing 4-1 to Spurs. They did take the lead in that game with James Ward-Prowse, their captain, on the score sheet. But then they completely capitulated, and unfortunately they really couldn't cope with them, losing that control as well. Leeds, on the other hand, fell behind, but they actually got a comeback. So fair play to Leeds United for getting that. They win by 2-1. Alisson looking really good in that squad as well. And Jesse Marsch potentially forming something with Leeds. Once again, like I said about all these other teams, it's really down to consistency. If they can keep their players fit, Leeds could have a great season. With Southampton, the players they got on paper are great, but I don't know. I think they're going to be a pretty inconsistent team, Southampton. As a prediction going into this game, I don't know. I can't edge them. I'm also going to go for a 1-1 draw and play a little bit safe. Let me know what you think in the comments. Next game to predict is Wolves versus Fulham. So Wolves started the season with a defeat against Leeds United there. And it was really, really poor, actually, the way that they did have that defeat. Sarr made some incredible saves and Leeds could have won by more. So that really made things quite disappointing for Wolves there. They have made intent to try and increase, their depth of the squad because they have lost a couple of players in. They've been linked and getting some players in. With Fulham, they recently got the signing of Issa Diop, which I think is an interesting signing from West Ham. And Fulham, of course, probably had one of the best performances last weekend, managing to get a home draw against one of the title favourites, Liverpool, and they deservedly got that draw as well. If they play anything like that against Wolves as well, that's what the one thing I'm really interested about, whether that Fulham can actually back that same performance and can keep the consistency. As a prediction, I'm going to actually edge Wolves still. I'm going to say a 1-0 victory to Wolves, but I wouldn't be surprised if I'm wrong. Next game to predict, and the last one for the Saturday, is Brentford versus Man United. Honestly, who knows with this game? Brentford managed to claw a 2-goal comeback against Leicester in brilliant style as well. Ivan Toney and Josh Da Silva scoring his first Premier League goal to manage to get the equaliser for Brentford. With Man United, they went 2-0 down to Brighton. They were much improved in the second half, but even with that, they still had the same problems, lacking that control in the midfield and being, not being clinical going forward. So when you've got those two elements, below par of a top 6 standard team, then you're really going to have issues, and the pressure's mounting on this Man United team. And honestly, Man United's record against Brentford last year was pretty good for what I remember. So it wouldn't surprise me if Man United do respond. They have got Liverpool very soon as well, so they're definitely going to not want to lose their opening 2 games when they go to them. As a prediction, I'm going to narrowly edge United for a 2-1 away win, but I'm a bit reluctant to. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now we go to Sunday's games. So the first one to predict is Forest versus West Ham. This is a really good game, I think. Two teams that on paper have got a really good squad, but both lost their opening game. Forest lose away from home against Newcastle, and West Ham lose at home to Manchester City. They have been linked with a couple of players, West Ham, especially some defenders, because they have got some injuries in their key positions. Ogbonna looks like he wants to leave. Dawson's injured, so they're a little bit light in the defender area, but they have made intent. Don't think the signings are going to be coming in just yet, but they have at least, acted accordingly to try and get that squad depth back. With Forest, it would surprise me if they're going to make many more signings, to be honest. I think now this is just going to give the new signings, a chance to try and gel. And Forest's season really needs to start now for me. If they have 2 performances where they don't have a shot on goal, you know, I'm going to be really concerned for Nottingham Forest. They didn't have a single shot on target against Newcastle last time, which was the one thing that really disappointed me, for the fact that they really didn't look a threat. As a prediction for this game, I'm going to actually slightly edge West Ham with that extra firepower going forward. I'm going to go 1-0 away to West Ham. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, a game I'm very nervous to talk about, Chelsea versus Tottenham Hotspur. So, Chelsea just outside the top 6. They did win that opening game against Everton. Wasn't very convincing, but we did get the job done on the penalty spot. I really do fear that Chelsea going forward just look very slow and predictable. Spurs, on the other hand, with their attacking players, look absolutely fantastic. The thing is with Spurs, they seem to have this mentality hoodoo against Chelsea. They really come up short against Chelsea a lot of the time. With this game, though, I expect Spurs to be the better team on paper. And my head's telling me 2-1 Spurs, but my heart is telling me 2-1 Chelsea. I'm going to actually go in my head and actually predict a rare Spurs win over Chelsea, which is going to sound very pessimistic for me. I'm going to say 2-1 away win to Spurs. Let me know what you think in the comments. Final game to predict is Crystal Ball, meaning Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. So this one is very interesting, I think. So both teams didn't win their opening game. Liverpool looked very poor actually at the back against Fulham at times. So we're going to see if they can address the problems there. Thiago came off injured as well, so they've got a little bit of a weakness with their midfield position. They've not got many options there. With Crystal Palace, they definitely have a really good team on paper, a very young team, and I think that could also be what, you know, part of the issue is with their performance. But give them time and experience, I think Crystal Palace is going to be a force. But going into this game, as of right now, I do back Liverpool to be a little bit more prepared than Crystal Palace are in the moment. Whilst I think they'll have problems, I think Liverpool will win. I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Liverpool. Let me know what you think in the comments. So guys, these are my Premier League predictions done. So as always guys, make sure you comment your predictions in the comments down below, so your predictions can be entered in the Prediction League. So guys, I'll wrap it up for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, please give the video a like and touch the help the channel. Please do hit that subscribe button. It really does help the growth of the channel when you do so. And please also share the channel too. That really helps as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are legendary if you saw the end of this video. As always, I'll see you guys soon. Take care everyone.